Okay, let's face it, I haven't been around for a while. I haven't been talking. You guys probably might not even know what's going on with me right now in the meanwhile. Well, wishfully this audio log fixes a few things. I am kind of a bit regretful that I couldn't have gotten to this sooner, because, I usually keep you folks up to date with something if something's actually going on. And in, like the past 4 months, a lot has actually gone on. So, the fact that I haven't brought up anything is kind of scary, I won't lie. It's kind of depressing too. But, I've kind of had my own issues here and there. I haven't been able to really get things out in a timely manner. And I apologize for that, folks. I honestly do. But when you've got a weak computer and you've got a lot of content in your backlog, you can't really do much with that, can you? Either way, So, Blizzard of 2015. Oh man, I'm glad we made it through this one. This was definitively actually the worst one that we had on record here in Massachusetts. 108.6 inches in Boston alone. I think over here in Lynn, we probably got maybe about 120, maybe 130 at worst. Ugh, man. So much shoveling to do. The roads were practically a river. Now, imagine if that were all rain. I mean, that's 108 inches of snow that we got. That's a little over 9 feet, right? Yeah, a little over 9 feet. 9 times 12 is 108. So, going into this, I hurt my back a lot, and so, I've pretty much been here at home base for the longest time, just trying to rest up. I won't lie, though, it really made me emotionally lonely. Those of you that follow me either on primarily on Facebook, I didn't really bring this up anywhere else, but it really hurt me. I was in the house for 50 days straight from February to March. Very painful experience. Heck, I really did worry a lot of people, and I'm sure a lot of people I was probably worried about too. I'm sure that I was worried about a whole bunch of people. I always made sure to make at least one message a day to certain people just to assure that they were okay. Unfortunately, I couldn't shovel out their houses or anything because the streets were blocked off, but at least I was able to get to people one way or another. Easier done than said, right? So this got me thinking, what the heck could have I been able to do in the time that I was pretty much alone in the house? Well, I was able to get some stuff done with Month of Disney 2. I'm actually surprised that's even still a thing at this point. I can't even upload anything because my hard drive is still having troubles. Apparently what was actually going on, the reason why my data was so low, aside from the fact, I've got a lot of stock footage, still needed to be dealt with, I also noticed that my temporary files were being messed around, and they kind of build up if you don't deal with them in 5 years. I've had my eMachines computer since December 14 of 2010. Can't believe it's been over 4 years now. And wouldn't you know, the temp folder took up about 8.93 gigabytes of data. So what did you think I did? I went into the temp folder, I pretty much cleaned it out. Not entirely, there's obviously certain files that need to be in there so that I can, maybe update or install certain things, but that's not a problem. I basically deleted anything I didn't need. And, well, let's just say that my hard disk drive is at a steady 20. I am very happy about that. I can last on 20, contrary to the fact that all my videos are either in 480 or 720p now, at 60 frames a second. So, yeah, you can basically tell that during the blizzard, I basically had a major cleanup. I'm also rather different. On a personal note, I could admit that my mind is absolutely not the same as it was coming into the blizzard. And especially since, astrologically, Sagittarius now has Saturn. Saturn will no longer be in Scorpio for actually a matter of months. It will be coming back in June. I think June. Either June or July. And that'll be there for a matter of months. So the burden that I was probably having from December of 2012 to December of 2014, that'll be back for some time, just a little bit, but I'll be able to handle it. Far stronger than I used to be. I'm able to handle much more things at a far faster pace, much stronger amount. Bring it on, I say. Bring it on. Within this month, actually, we ended up losing a very, very lovely athlete in the NCAA women's basketball unit. You might know her if you've been following her story. She had pediatric brain cancer that was terminal. It couldn't have been dealt with given today's technology. Lauren Hill of Mount St. Joseph College. I will not lie. When I got the news, I was just... I was disturbed. I was following her story since the beginning, ever since, I think it's Steve Hartman on the road of CBS News had, he basically brought up the story. We got to learn about her. She ended up going on to a Wheaties box. She ended up getting a few awards here and there. I gotta admit, even though she had cancer that was pretty much weighing her body down, I'm very surprised that she was able to still, score some points, shoot some layups. It just goes to show you that people, young prodigies in this world, are still able to deal with matters, contrary to the fact that there's something holding them down. Heck, I could kind of say that about myself. I've had my decent amount of pain and even haters here and there along the way. But look at me. Look at me now. Far stronger, completely sane, and able to say that I am... The word rehabilitated can be used in many ways. But I can understand why Morgan Freeman's character in The Shawshank Redemption kind of finds it to be a kind of a bogus word. Because anybody can technically rehabilitate themselves. In my case, would I say that I am healed? That would be the word that I would say. I am healed. I am definitely feeling better. I can't admit that, at times it's still lonely at home. It's still lonely when I'm outside. It's even lonely when I'm doing work on material. Heck, I'm the only person doing this commentary. Would I say I'm lonely? Nah, not really. I'm talking to you guys. But... Don't get me wrong, it can get a bit depressing around here if I do not find a way to keep my emotions at bay when there's nobody around, mind you. So, would I say I'm comparing myself to Lauren Hill? Absolutely not. I might be the head administrator of a group of over 12,000, but Lauren Hill has touched the hearts of millions. Who knows? Maybe at some point I will be able to touch the hearts of millions. I know that I've been able to make a lot of people in the state of Massachusetts smile in my 15 plus years of actually running Royameadow and Company. That's right, this group has existed since October 1999. If you haven't known that, well, you haven't been around me much. Going back to her, though, I truly feel bad that, she had to physically go. She was a good woman. Now she'll be shooting hoops in the spirit world. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Feel free to turn this idea into an indie game. Any developers that are out there, but I don't know. Is there a game out there like, Spirit Hoops? That actually sounds like a decent game. If anybody ever has the idea of making a game, make Spirit Hoops. Have it be like, Legends of Basketball, including Lauren Hill, that are no longer physically with us. I would like to see that turned into a game someday. Heck, who knows? I might hack NBA Live 98 at some point and make that a reality. Oh, that'd be fun. That would indeed be fun. Okay, this is a really big announcement that I want to get out of the way. This one is actually regarding a sister station. For those of you that might remember, in I think it was October of 2011 or November of 2011, I created Rokkumeadow, at least in the form of a channel. Rokkumeadow is the sister group to Royameadow, and that was actually created as a part of the Neo Generation 1 unit way back in October of 2007. I did that on October 2 or 3 of 2007, basically to make a new art division of the group, so to speak. There are 4 incarnations of Rokkumeadow. There are the original Rokkumeadow, or Rokkumeadow Generation 1. There is Rockwood Arts, which is what I was intending on renaming Rokkumeadow 4 years into the group, hence the reason why Royameadow Generation 2 was actually rather decent with certain things here and there, especially in poems. Got some folks from the old original Generation 1 team that actually do some stuff, and, you know, I actually read their poems. Then we ended up having Rokkumeadow the channel, which said content was uploaded to, and, well, if you've been subscribed to that channel for the longest time, then you know that channel hasn't had anything going for it. So you might wonder, what the heck is going on with the channel? Well, when we began Royameadow Generation 3 officially on August 25 of 2013, this is actually where I was starting to go into conversation about it. And I thought it was best, well, not necessarily for me, but for Royameadow and Company in general, if we were to retire the Rokkumeadow name. But theoretically, I thought retiring the name would be stupid because, you know, the channel name and the email for it is obvious. So what the heck am I going to do with it? Well, Rokkumeadow will no longer be Rokkumeadow. If I am to ever bring it back, Rokkumeadow will be revived as Royameadow International. And what Royameadow International will be, this is actually something I've been holding on to for a long time. Ever since Generation 2 for Royameadow began on July 1 of 2009. I always keep thinking, is it September 2 or July 1? September 2 was technically when I began school at Anglo Senior High in 2009 through the orientation. But July 1 is when the Generation 2 unit began. It wasn't until September 2 that members of Generation 2 really started to pick up. That's what I meant. So, you know, going into rebranding Rokkumeadow as Royameadow International, and don't get me wrong, the Rokkumeadow name will still exist in some way, shape, or form, just not in the form of a YouTube channel. So what Royameadow International will basically be is I will bring back everything that Royameadow had from its international unit. So basically everywhere outside of North America, not including Canada or the UK. So basically anything from Northern Canada, South America, let's see, European Russia, all of Asia, and select portions of Australia and New Zealand. Any members that I have there that make any content and intend on uploading it will instead, they'll have it uploaded to their channel, of course, but they will also have to talk with me if they want it to be uploaded to a different channel. In this case, that would be Rokkumeadow, or in this case, Royameadow International. So basically, this is kind of my way of spreading the love for other people that might not know those that know me, or those that have worked alongside me, at least since 2010 to now. However, please do not expect anything to go about with the channel right now. This is something that's not fully set in stone, but pretty much at this point, what I'm saying here is that even though Royameadow International will come to be at some point in time, maybe 2017 if things go in the way I'm intending them to, Rokkumeadow will basically be on a permanent hiatus. That's basically what I'm putting here. So, if you're wondering what's going on right now, do not expect anything else to be on this channel. Don't expect anything to be on the Rokkumeadow channel for a long time. Not until I get everything settled down. Once that happens, then I'll probably get into things. I'll probably talk about what's actually going on here and there. And we'll proceed on from that point. As of now, though, the channel is not nullified. It won't be discontinued. Just on permanent hiatus until I know what the heck other people will do when they start actually making content for it. And with that, we can finally get to the major part, the big major event of this, whatever the heck you want to call this. I'm going to call this an audio log. You know, this might as well just be one of, I don't know, like a Chris Pirillo style TLDR, because that's kind of the way I made it. Whenever I do an audio log, I usually have it so that the title name is Roya Rockwood, and then I label all the topics. Because Chris Pirillo of Locker Gnome, he does the same thing. He says, he has the title as TLDR, and then he has like 3 or 4 topics that he talks about, and he talks about said topic for either less than 10 minutes or probably as long as 45 or even 50. So in this case, the final topic, as you see in the title, is MIAA Women's Hockey 2015. Okay, for those of you who are wondering what the heck MIAA Women's Hockey 2015 is, this is a ROM hack of NHL 94 that I am currently working on. At this point in time, sadly because NHL 94 is not able to be fully modified to the extent that I want it to be, there is a lot of stuff that will take some time to actually work on. So right now, it's mostly a graphical overhaul of the game. At least what can be modified. I am trying to see if I can, I'm going to see if other folks at the NHL94.com forum, and maybe people at SSRG, since they pretty much have more knowledge than even I do on this, maybe they'll be able to help expand the NHL 94 ROM into the best ways possible. But we'll get more into that after I fully talk about what the heck this is. So, MIAA 2015 was basically influenced by Amanda Conway. And for those of you who do not know who Amanda Conway is, she is the best player in the MIAA Women's Hockey League that we've seen in a long time. And I mean that. I think it's Dual County Merrimack 2? If not Dual County Merrimack 1, I forget. I always forget all the different leagues. And it basically, how do I put it? Because there's so much that I could talk about when it comes to Amanda Conway, at least in her successes, that the possibilities are endless here. So according to what I know, Amanda Conway is, well, as I've mentioned, number 2 of the Tewksbury Methuen Red Rangers. And she is, let's see, if my memory serves correctly, she joined the league in either the 2012-2013 or 2013-2014 season. And originally the team was actually very lowly anticipated to do well during its launch year. So when people had noticed that Amanda was doing excessively well with the team, everybody cheered the team on. The team has critical acclaim. She has critical acclaim. She even has the current state record for most goals scored in a single game. 9 goals, if my memory serves correctly. That is astounding. In fact, she is actually one of the main attractions of the ROM hack as a result of that. She has over 180 goals and over 220 points on her record, at least in the most recent article that I've seen. That might actually be more now. I'm going to estimate maybe 200 goals, or over 200, and over 250 points. It's a rough estimate, but only Amanda can actually officially confirm that. So, kind of like what NHL 94 did with one of the players, theoretically, that kind of is what happened here. So Amanda's all 99s. If you ever saw the launch trailer for the game, you might recognize that that's actually one of the reasons why I did that. But as of then, oh man, I'm really stuttering all over the place. I'm sorry, folks. But had it not been for her influence, the game this ROM hack would never have actually come to be. So, if you want to know what this is actually doing, so I'm bringing in all 66 teams in the MIAA Women's Hockey League. But you might be wondering, hey, Roya, but the current version of NHL 94 only allows us to edit in, like, 30 teams. How the heck are you going to do this? Well, people that are asking this question, I can officially tell you that MIAA 2015 will be released in 4 parts, or volumes, as the game will officially say on the title screen. The first 3 volumes will basically have all 66 teams divided in groups of 26. There are 4 teams that will be in each ROM, not including the 4 bonus teams that will also be in each ROM. And I'll save those for a later time. I'll save that for when Revision 0 comes out. However, as of the beta release of Volume 1, which will probably come out within maybe the next 2 weeks at the time of this recording, Table 23, the 4 teams that will at least be in each ROM are the, Beverly Danvers Panthers, the Lynn Bulldogs, St. Mary's Lynn Spartans, and the Tewksbury Methuen Red Rangers. This is to balance out the amount of teams that I have to deal with. Each ROM will have 22 unique teams from each portion of the league. So basically what I've done here is I've taken 4 teams out of the 66 that will be necessary to deal with. That means I have 62 to edit with. So, would that mean that there would be placeholder teams here and there? Maybe so. I might end up having to bring some other teams from other leagues. And so, there might be some teams from Volume 1 that will be in Volume 3, for example. Or there might be some teams from Volume 1 that will be in Volume 2. Volume 4 of MIAA 2015 will be a best of the 2014-2015 season. So what this basically means is that I'll take a look at the records for each team, see who's had the most victories. Once that is done, all those teams will be put into the Volume 4 ROM. That will be 26 of the best teams out of the 66 that I have to deal with. Trust me, trying to edit this in Microsoft Excel will be a pain. I know that for a fact. Oh, man. Alright. But, as of now, I won't lie, the game is actually going in a decent pace. I will definitely make sure to get this done as soon as I could possibly do so. I would also be glad to mention that this ROM hack will definitely be a part of the Sega Homebrew competition. For those of you who do not know what the Sega Homebrew competition is, this will be run by the folks at SSRG and Sonic Retro. Super Egg and Lazo Silas of SSRG, and I think also Sonic Retro, they will basically be running the show here. They probably might get some extra judges here and there for the competition. So, if you have your own Sega Homebrew work that's currently in progress, even if it's still in progress, spread this competition around. If you want to be a part of it, all you gotta do is, sign up to one of the respective forums, share your content, or upload your project when it's in a presentable state to the contest, and, we'll see what happens in late August when everything's going about. I will definitely have all the revision zeros for MIAA 2015 there. That is a guarantee. If you want to actually follow the MIAA 2015 project, feel free to go to the forum topic down below. It's at the NHL94.com forum. If you like what you see, feel free to deliver some feedback. Feel free to give me some extra information if I'm missing any rosters. Actually, that's something I want to bring up too. And I hope that if either the MIAA or My Hockey Live gets any kind of wind about this, I would like for them to know your rosters are incomplete. I've been trying to edit the teams very easily and in a very organized way. What is very painful is that there is no official archive for every single team and every single player in the league. That's actually one thing I have to frown about when it comes to pretty much every form of high school hockey that's out there. Like, don't get me wrong. Let's see, is it the IIHF? Yeah, the IIHF, the NHL, the AHL, and there's a few other hockey leagues. I think the SCHL is another one. Southern Central Hockey League or something, a Southern Conference or something around that. They all keep archives of every single team and every single player in the league. So why can't the MIAA do that? Why can't My Hockey Live do that? Don't get me wrong, My Hockey Live's doing a very good job. But I've got to admit that in its current state, not every team in My Hockey Live currently is available. Heck, Lexington, I think, doesn't even have its roster on there. It just says Lexington. It says players will be available soon. The season's over. How do you not have records of your own team? I'm sorry for, kind of complaining about this, but, if I'm running a league and I'm trying to make a video game out of said league, then it kind of disturbs me that my work is actually being kind of bombarded with, kind of blockades. I'm kind of being stopped here. If I don't have information on a team, then that means I can't do anything with said team. That means I'll probably have to make, maybe fake names, or probably even bring in, the team from the previous year, if it's available. It just goes to tell you that if you're gonna make a ROM hack of any kind of sports league, you have to make sure that, this is not even being made in conjunction with the NFHS or MIAA. This is completely independent of them. So, in my case, if I were to have this be an official game, if I were to make my own engine, or maybe even work with EA Sports, for whatever reason, I would want to have absolute knowledge on everything that that the league offers. Every single team, every single roster, every single record. Heck, maybe even have a commentator or two talk about these players, what's going on in the game. That kind of stuff. How come we can't get that? It's not something I want to have to complain about, but it's something that must be brought up. I don't want to talk about this more than I have to, but it's a bit obvious that I must. It's a bit unfortunate too, because that would mean that this ROM would be incomplete, and once NHL 94 is expandable to the point where you can implement features from other games, maybe NHL 92 to 98, and even port it over to the Super 32X, that is actually something I do intend on doing at some point. But the technical aspect of the game won't be a problem. It's just a matter of having accuracy with the teams. I don't want to make this ROM hack and then miss something. I don't want to have a goalie missing or whatever because the MIAA or My Hockey Live failed to get all the team rosters implemented. Heck, even the schools themselves, the schools and their respective leagues for hockey. I've been looking there are some times where I have to deliberately go out of my way to said site, to their website, in order to figure out who's where. Andover Golden Warriors, for example, they don't have their goalies listed on My Hockey Live. I had to deliberately go to their website to get the goalies. I don't want to have to do that. I want all the teams and their rosters, as well as their records, to be in one specific site. Whether it's monitored by the MIAA, maintained by the MIAA, My Hockey Live, or another party. That's basically what I'm saying here. So, don't get me wrong. I'll be able to program all the players in. I'll be able to get all the bonus teams dealt with, all the anamorphic widescreen artwork. That's actually one thing I'm glad I put in too, because MIAA Women's Hockey 2015 is one of the first ROM hacks, at least in the form of NHL 94, to actually explicitly bring up the topic on anamorphic widescreen. Because what I do is, I'm condensing certain graphics. I'm taking widescreen images and putting them into 16 to 9 or 16 to 10. Because, it makes life easier, not just for me, but for the rest of us. I think it goes without saying. Because, because we're in a time where widescreen is kind of the norm, it only makes sense to, bring it in full time. And that's actually something I'm glad that I did. There are a few bugs with the game, like, for example, sometimes the game will crash if you go into the player cards. Ron Barr has only 5 colors if you play the Rise of the North Shore demo. That's okay now. His color palette has been upgraded to either 8 or 9. So, 7 to 9. 7 to 9. It goes from black to white. Black with like 5 or 6 shades of gray and white. So that's not a problem anymore. That has been dealt with. The game. Let's see. I still have to edit some of the player lines because one of the issues with the player lines is that if you don't have a player in a player line, either at the matchup screen or during gameplay if they score a goal or if they're in the assist, that it'll crash the game. Or if you go into a menu, that can be dealt with. Also, because there are less players in each team, that also means that you can't keep yourself at the main menu for too long. You have to progressively switch through players on a normal basis. Switch through the teams on a normal basis at the main menu to assure that the game doesn't crash. Because Methuen especially, if you leave them at the main menu for like when the beginning of the players show up, it'll apparently just crash the game because it's apparently trying to read a player that's not there. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure that maybe somebody in the NHL 94 forum could help me out with that, because that's still an ongoing factor. But that'll be talked about when that'll be talked about. Not right now. There's still much to be done. But as you could tell, this is going to be a really big ROM hack if I'm releasing it in 4 volumes. If for whatever reason, I'm able to work on the game from, I don't know, maybe a future disassembly of NHL 94, or if for whatever reason somebody makes a 70-team ROM hack, that would be lovely because then I could just have everybody in the same ROM, so that volumes 1 to 4 will be obsolete, and that can be used for 32X porting maybe. That's something that I would definitely love to do as the years go by, but if for this year only, I'm only doing the revision zeros. If things come up in which, I can do a disassembly, if I can make bug fix revisions, if I can port it to the 32X, that will happen in the years to come, so long as the NHL scene is still active and, things such as this are actually possible. But in its current state, though, expect it to only be on the Genesis and Mega Drive. Expect your Japanese translations. Expect Amanda Conway to defeat the competition, Brittany McPherson to defend her way to victory, and Kristen McLaughlin to do lots of cross-checking. This will definitely be a very fun experience once we come late August for the Homebrew competition. You'll definitely love to see what comes of this, I'm sure. And, if you stay around for the show, I might even, I might make a guest appearance in the commentary. If there is a commentary of me in a live stream, who knows? Oh, fun times. At this point, though, I think I've pretty much said everything I have to. Can't believe I kind of one-shotted this. This was completely out of the blue, but I was scheduling to have this done on April 27, but I thought, I'm just going to shoot it to the 23rd since it's a Thursday. We actually got a lot of stuff I got to do for Friday. Got to get the demo, not the demo. Got to get the beta release of Volume 1 ready for either the end of April or the first week in May. That's a guarantee. So, you can tell I've kind of got my hands full here. There's a lot that I've got to do, but don't get me wrong. I've been through worse. I've been able to deal with the worst kind of odds. I've been able to deal with every kind of challenge that comes my way. Even though I'm the guy that's technically doing everything by his lonesome, all of you are somehow helping me in one way, shape, or form. Heck, even watching this audio log is helping me out in one way, shape, or form. Or many. Who knows? Oh, jeez. Who would have thought I'd be able to talk this energetically? Kind of remind myself of Markiplier. Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier, and welcome to Five Nights at... No. We're not doing that right now. We'll wait for another day. Yeah, if I'm going to ever do any Markiplier imitations, I think I'm going to wait until I actually meet Markiplier, and then we'll probably do something there. But, we'll get to that when we get to that. If there's anything else you want to talk about, feel free to drop it in the comments. Feel free to send me a message either on Facebook or talk with me on Twitter. Maybe, I don't know, if you want to discuss or reblog something on Tumblr or Formspring, feel free, be my guest. So that's all the time we have for today. I've actually got to get back to work. There's a lot on the horizon, kids. Get ready for summer. I'm back, baby.